All right, let's see if this works. Sometimes it cuts me off before it hits the 10-second mark. All right, I guess we're on. Hi, I am Beth Phillips, and I think it was 2 weeks ago that somebody suggested, and I thought it was a good suggestion, to do a Facebook Live talking about the different options available for education in Pennsylvania. And the biggest source of confusion seems to come between what cyber school is versus what traditional homeschooling is, or a home education plan under the Pennsylvania homeschool law. So I'll identify that. I'll talk about that first. And if you have any questions, you can, I guess, leave them in the comments below, and they should pop up on my screen, I think. We'll try that out. Oh, no, you know what I found out? If I move this over here, I think they pop up in this area right here. So first, I'll tell you what cyber school is. So Pennsylvania has a charter school law. I think it was passed about 10 years ago, maybe longer, as an alternative to public school in your district. So it's not a private school, it is a publicly funded. They are publicly funded. So charter school can be in a brick and mortar building, or, and I want to say PA Cyber was probably the first to do it online. And the reason I think there's confusion is because it's online, the student stays at home. But it is different than a parent or guardian filing an affidavit. That whole process is not required if you choose to do cyber school through one of the options available in Pennsylvania. Some cyber schools, I think some districts have cyber schools that are specifically through the district. And even then, say your kid is in a public school and you're not happy with that situation, and that your district offers a cyber school option that they sponsor or pay for or implement, you're not limited to that choice only. You can enroll in any cyber school in the state. And there are some variations. Sometimes their format is different from each other. The curriculum they offer is different. So if you want to try that option, it is worth kind of taking a look at the different cyber schools. And if you Google Pennsylvania Cyber School, probably a list, I think there are 12 or 15 that are available. And then, like I said, there are brick and mortar charter schools. I know Propel is a company that has a few in my area. They may be statewide, I'm not sure. But again, they take public money. And what happens is you enroll. You still have to go to your school district and give some demographic information and proof of residency, that sort of thing, because they actually pay the bill directly to the cyber school for the students from the district who attend the brick and mortar charter school. So when people talk about cyber school, although it is at home, and also, let me say the district also pays the bill for the cyber school. So, but even though it takes place at home, it's not traditional homeschool in the sense that we talk about under the Pennsylvania homeschool law. So hopefully that's clear. Okay. So the homeschool law is the one that requires an affidavit. The supervisor has to be qualified, and they'll file the affidavit. And you keep a portfolio, and at the end of the year, you get an evaluation, and then the evaluator verifies or certifies in a letter 1 or 2 sentences that an appropriate education has occurred, and then you just submit that letter by June 30th to the school district. So that's what we're talking about when we talk about a home education program or homeschool. That's usually what people are talking about. Okay, to confuse the matter even more, one option under the traditional homeschool law is that you can choose like a private online academy. One I can think of is like Switched On Schoolhouse or Bob Jones University. These are private entities that service traditional homeschool community. So you're still the supervisor, even if they have like a grading system, even if they have standards within that, you still are responsible for compiling a portfolio and the elements of a portfolio. You still have to get an evaluation, and you still have to submit the certification that an appropriate education has occurred to the school district. So that can be confusing too, but and some of them are super systematic and organized and levels, give grades similar to a public school grading system or a private school grading system, but it is a private option online for people proceeding under the home education program. Now, I talked a few weeks ago about another option under the homeschool law, and it's really sort of a provision of the compulsory education law, and that is a private tutor program. So again, that's separate from a cyber school, separate from a private school. It is the private tutor option, so a parent or a PA certified teacher. You can only take advantage of this option if you're a Pennsylvania certified teacher in any level, and you have to provide your criminal history record. And currently there are 3. You can find those either on my website, pahomesschoollaw.com, or the Pennsylvania Department of Education website also has a list of the required clearances that you have to submit to the school district. All right, so we didn't really talk about public versus private school, but I think most of you understand that. Most people get that distinction. So hopefully I explained the distinction between cyber school, which is really just an online public school option, and you enroll your child similar to if you're going to take them to the district and give them all that demographic information. So that's cyber school, and that's on, like I said, a public school option. And then there's traditional home education program and the private tutor program. So hopefully that clears things up. I don't know if you have other questions, or if you had a question. This is pretty, maybe I would consider this for people who are really just looking into homeschooling in Pennsylvania for the first time. Even if this wasn't clear to you when you started, you kind of probably understand that if you've been homeschooling for a few years. But it's a pretty common source of confusion for people, so I thought it was worth spending a little time discussing the differences. I hate to go down this road and muddy things up, but just to talk about the equal access provision of the homeschool law, which is I think it was passed in 2006, but it allows homeschool kids, home educated kids, to participate in extracurricular activities. That is different for homeschoolers than it is for charter schools. So if a charter school offers that activity or a way for the student to participate, and it would be connected to the charter school. For example, some charter schools have basketball teams and other sports teams. So if they provide that option and you're a student there, you can't participate in your district sports even if it's more convenient for you. But under the home education or the homeschool law, districts are not allowed to keep you from participating in extracurriculars as long as you meet the same eligibility requirements as enrolled students. So hopefully I didn't muddy the waters too much. And actually, I have to say, even though the charter school access participation is different, my kids they never had a problem participating in sports with the local school district when they were enrolled. I mean, nobody just made it an issue ever, so I was pretty lucky. They were pretty lucky that way. So hopefully this clarified some things. I thought this would be a pretty quick one. Hopefully I didn't make it more confusing. But even if you don't see this live, if you have questions, you can leave them in the comments down below, even on the recorded version, and I should get those questions. I'll get notified about those. So I just wanted to talk about some housekeeping matters. Excuse me. So Facebook doesn't necessarily notify, even if you follow the PA Homeschool Law page, or if you quote like it, you might not get notified about this. So what I am doing is publishing these videos to YouTube. And there's a PA Homeschool Law page over there. I'll probably leave a link to that. And if you subscribe and then click notifications for that, you'll get notified regardless. If you probably won't get notified for these. They're just, Facebook's algorithm now isn't pushing content from pages anymore. They're doing it more from groups and individual connections, not pages, which is fine. But I'm just trying to figure out a way that people who need this kind of information, or if you've missed a previous video that I did, how to notify people. They'll always be housed. The other thing I've been doing is housing them under categories in the membership, the private community. But that's just extra. They're also available on YouTube. But one of the reasons I'm doing that is really to preserve them, because who knows what things will change. Facebook seems to change all the time. Also, as things get published on pages, they get pushed down the page. I don't expect YouTube to change, but they should be available, I guess, forever on YouTube. But you just never know how things there will change. So anyway, if you don't want to miss these, I think the best thing to do, even if you follow the PA Homeschool Law page, is to go to YouTube and subscribe and click notifications, which is like a little bell or something somewhere. I'm not even sure where it is. So you will get notified. So anyway, happy weekend. I hope everybody has a great weekend. We got a little bit of snow, but That's okay, not terrible. And hopefully, if you have any questions, for sure, just leave them in the comments. All right. See ya. Here we go.